But that's okay. I'm glad that I can remember all of them by name.
How many were there in your class?
16.
16. Wow.
No, yeah, 16 is right, yeah. And then, of course, I had to make up my mind what I wanted to do. So one night we were all sitting around and somebody asked the question, what you gonna do when you grow up? Well, I didn't answer right away. I was the last one because I was reading an interesting book and I didn't want to stop. But anyway, it came my turn to say, I said, well, how about, and what would all of you think if I go to the convent? Well, there was a hush. Because I don't think I hadn't said anything much to anybody about it. But then they all agreed that that would be fine. So that's where I went in September of 1931. And I have lived 80 years in religious life. We just had our Jubilee in May and in July, a big celebration for it. And there's just 2 of that class that are living, Sister Laurencia and myself. But that was a great occasion, and I'm grateful to this day that I made that decision. And in those 80 years, I taught 50. I had wonderful classes and enjoyed teaching very, very much.
Your hand hurt a lot too, then, didn't it?
But now what? And then all the get-togethers that we have had over the years, with Dad living to be 104, we had a lot of celebrations for him. And a lot of you people were there. And so that has made up my happy religious and family life.
Look how many kids you have here to still celebrate with.
Yeah, I know.
It's just a celibate life.
All of you people.
Does any,
Well-
go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, there's one thing that all of you get. Every night, I've got to the age where I don't sleep a whole lot. So every night I go through the family list. You all get named, and I say a prayer for you.
Thank you.
How long does that take?
Boy, it can take a couple of hours. That's all right. I can't do anything else.
Thank you very much.
Are there any thoughts that anybody else has about times that they were with Sister Noel or different things that they would like to share? Anybody?
How many pairs of shoes, Aunt Mildred, did you buy at Stouts back when my mom and Dad would come and pick you up? That's all right. Come on. I don't know if you can hear me from there. I'll come a little closer, but
Yeah, y'all have to.
when you were in St. Mark's, there in Indianapolis,
Yeah.
you remember Bob and Kay coming over and picking you up? And I think it was Stout's shoe store. You would go because the only kind of shoes you could get at that time
Yeah.
that they had for the nuns was there at Stout's. And we'd come and pick you up there at the St. Mark's and take you downtown to go get your shoes. So we had a few trips with to the Stout shoe store with you on that. I remember those because I was I don't remember how old, but probably maybe 10, 12 or something like that at the time.
Yeah.
It's been a while back.
Yes, I remember that.
And I think we had a few chicken dinners too.
One of my very first memories of you, Sister Noel, is of being at the house on Mechanic Street with you and Aunt Mary, and you were playing slapjack with me. I was a little kid. And that's the game where you turn the cards over, and if you see a jack, you slap it. And I was always afraid to play with you because you slapped really hard.
That's all that practice she had with them kids.
My little hands. I was so scared to play slapjack.
Oh, yeah, that's...
But she's recovered, thank you.
You don't have any broken bones.
No, they're fine.
anything?
I have to say something. A year ago, December, Noelle and I interviewed Aunt Mildred and Aunt Pauline about their experiences in a one-room schoolhouse. Somebody's making a museum for one-room schoolhouses, and they wanted stories. And there was a whole list of questions I asked them, and one of them was, what did you do during recess? And Aunt Mildred sits there, Sister Noel Marie, and says, well, that's when I learned that a prepositional phrase can be the subject of a sentence. Over the fence is out. I couldn't believe she said that. An English teacher.
Are there any changes that have happened over the 100 years that are particularly interesting to you? The different ways that people teach, the different teaching methods, or anything like that that you would like to share?
There's one thing I'd like to get on the stump and tell everybody who talks on TV, take lessons in elocution. Because I can't understand you anymore. They talk so fast, and I can't get what they're saying. So I would tell everybody, be sure if you're going to be an announcer or a speaker, be sure to take some lessons in elocution.
Handwriting.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't teach
That's,
handwriting.
yeah, that's something that's gone by the
They
wayside.
punch keys.
And tell us about the future of the Sisters of St. Francis. You're right involved in the changing of the leadership. What's going on there?
Well, let's see, where shall I begin? Well, we're going to have election next April. We have to get new leadership. They have served 6 years, so their term is up. So right now, we are having a number of meetings to learn from them some of the things that have come up that we need to think about. Economical things, family things, how to take care, because most of us are getting too old to do anything anymore.
Right, it's quite a
And
transition.
so we have a big infirmary. The first floor is independent living, though we don't do too much of anything else but eat and sleep. And the second and the third floor, most of those are total care. And then we have another building of 3 floors of retired sisters. Some of them do some things like work at the telephone or give out mail or that, but no heavy work. Others who are able and in good health, they fill our offices of all kinds. We're going down in number. I think we're only a little over 200 in some now. We used to be close to 900 in some. But we don't get too many vocations anymore. We have one woman who is studying out in the Franciscan novitiate in St. Louis. There's a group, any Franciscan order can send some of their novices and postulants there. But we don't get too many, and we have a lot who are dying. So I don't know how long we'll be in existence yet until, of course, maybe the Holy Spirit's going to work again and bring more in.
Sister, the sisters who are active in ministries, are they teachers now, or have they moved on to other vocations?
There are a few who are still teaching, but many of them have gone into work in hospitals, like being assistant to the chaplain, that they will do prayers and just go visit and help along in different ways like that.
What made you choose the
Order of St. Francis?
What did I teach?
Why did you choose the Order of St. Francis?
Well, I always liked St. Francis.
Because
It's Roses. It's Rose. Ask.
oh, my daughter Rose asked
Oh, I
that
see,
question.
yeah. Living in the country all my life, I liked everything outside. As I said a while ago, I didn't like to have to stay in. And St. Francis, I think, was such a man of nature. He had that canticle to the sun, if you remember it. Have ever had any acquainted with that? But he gives God praises and thanks for everything in nature. And I love to read that and pray it. And I think and then St. Francis was one who wanted to give everything he had, not only to give it to God, but he also sought out the poor and the people who had nothing. Even though he was a very wealthy man himself, but he gave everything he could to our Lord. And that's why he could always say, my God and my all.
That's a wonderful story. Now, of course, there'll be more time to visit, but I kind of would like to be sure we get a picture of Sister Noel with the cake out. So whoever's in this on that,
Yes,
we're going to put the cake in front of her.
Peter, turn one around so it says 100.
Some sort of binary code.
100.
There is the cake that says, Happy 100th Sister Noel Marie.